All right, traders. Hey, welcome on back here this Friday, closing things out, right? Just November 7th. Great to see all of us back here inside our live trading room. Roberto, Leda, Anna, got all of us here just joining us. Give me a sound check. Let me know if you got me here loud and clear. Should be good to go. Good to go here across the board. Markets made a pretty good rebound across the board. Tesla going back up. Robinhood's been at the high of the day. Nvidia pushing back up. A lot of larger cap stocks doing pretty good now at this point, right? Great to see Bill, Grant, Tom, Michael, and all of us just here. So, without further ado, let's just jump right into it here with what's on the screen. The BKYI trade. This has made a pretty good move across the whole day, from pre-market to even now. This stock, though, I say it all the time. It's like I'm a broken record player a little bit, right? I say the same thing over and over frequently, but you can't trust these stocks as far as you could throw them. So when you look at the long-term graph, well, this stock is like the king of pop and drop. It's the definition of pop, drop, flavor of the day. That's it. Back from the end of last year into the beginning of this year. I mean, just even probably much longer, if I recall. I think this stock over the last several years has just been exactly that. And I'm sure they've had reverse stock splits that have kind of inflated the price of the stock over time. But yeah, for right now, at least taking us into today, made a good push going into the market open. We had it on our morning watch list for that reason. Pushed up nicely going into, well, what do you know, 10:30 reversal time, right? A little bit afterwards, but give or take, made a good move for us in the morning time at least, right? Now for the afternoon though, where you look long term, yeah, I mean, just going back to 2019, 2018, yeah, this was not $300, $400 per share. But what happens in the event where you happen to have the shorts covering? Well, it leads to a larger squeeze up over time. So BKYI, I thought to keep it in mind going into the afternoon. I just had it still on my bookmap page, and I saw at the corner of my eye an order on the bid pop up. Let me show this to you here. This thing kind of looks like trash otherwise, but you ended up seeing an order on the bid pop up much lower, but that alone sparks interest. 258,000 shares. Maybe it ladders up. Maybe something else pops up on the bid in due time that could help elevate it. And that's exactly what we've had here. So going into the afternoon, I mean, I think there's a chance that we could see even more out of this here heading into the close. So for that reason, more than anything, we'll put this on our list to begin. The other one, though, that I told you about that I said, maybe keep an eye on, there's a chance this might be a short squeeze. This I don't think is proven. This isn't on the gainers list as much. It's not on the top of the gainers list, not that shiny object in the room like this, is and could be even more. So this has started off pretty good for us. Let's see if it can continue. Now, the other trades that we've been calling out, though, just to go over briefly, I mean, the only other one I'll go over that I'm in that I'll mention to you, the FUBO I've been in from like last week, right? From a week ago at this point. But, nothing's really changed on that. It's up a little bit. But the U trade, you made a big push back up. I was a little afraid of this pulling back more going into the open. I was contemplating selling my position. I was down kind of early on, just once I got in yesterday. It was the definition of catching a falling knife, right? I mean, it's exactly what it was. Just the stock has been getting pummeled day over day over day. So if you're looking at this trade historically speaking, at least you do have some support built in right around here. Needs to hold that if it's trying to make that better move back up. So this is hopefully just the beginning. It's only up a small amount so far today. It's at the highs though, right? So another stock doing pretty good here with the market altogether. So I don't mind adding you back to our watch list. Talking about the stock, not talking about you. No, I'm teasing, of course. You, all about you, energy fuels, you. What else we got here? Just trading at the high of the day right now. We'll just kind of go across the whole market, looking at some of the larger cap stocks, at least for right now. Nvidia is down percentage-wise, but trending back up pretty well, you got to say. Now, what sparked my belief in the market rallying this afternoon? Two things. If you look on the SPY daily chart, it's not the strongest level, not the greatest level, but 1, 2, follow my cursor. This is 3. A couple of wicks here in a row that are generally trying to hold the support. So SPY crashed into that here today. I mean, easily it could have went lower. It easily could have continued down. Thank God we ended up getting the bounce when we did. Pretty good slingshot right away there. It took about 5-10 minutes, but slung back up. There's your higher low, pushing back up from there. Now, what led me to think the market would make a pretty good bounce was not just that, but AMD. Check this. AMD had, support at 225. All right, that's normal. It's like nothing out of the ordinary, whatever. Crashed into it, bounced back up at first, also nothing out of the ordinary. First test, best test. But then out of nowhere, you got like nearly 250,000 shares popping up on the buy side, right at that 225 level. I'm going to break out the old calculator here. I'll do this right now. I got my webcam off right now, so no go on social media or inside our live trading room. But just doing the math briefly, $225 a share times 212,720. Guys, that's nearly $48 million worth, right? So, I love that. I love how Fausto phrases it more recently. He's been kind of using this line more recently. He would get asked like, hey, what if that's a fake order? And his reaction is like, I love this line. He'd be like, well, why don't we use your money and why don't we just try and nail that order on the bid, see what happens? Why don't we short the stock right now, drive it down at 225? Why don't we try and do that with your money, huh? I mean, that's a real order. So with that, we have to interpret that as support. And for the time being, I got into the AMDL, the ETF. Did all right on it actually, but it's pushing back up even more now. So that's kind of like a move with the market here, just AMD. Hey, what we'll just do right now is go across the percent gainers and losers list here. Let's see what we could add up to our watch list for right now. We got BKYI, we got the U trade, two good trades to begin with. This thing's kind of garbage. MSGM. Now the EOS stock, I see the warrant here, EOSE. You got the warrant number 3, but this thing is a beast. What the hell is going on here? I mean, we're familiar with this stock. It's U.S. energy storage based company. That's what they do. So with the rare earth metal kind of discussion out there, perhaps they're getting even more of a squeeze. They've already been running up very nicely with the whole nuclear talk as well. But when you look at this from a weekly perspective, this thing has pushed up so much. It had a pretty strong upwick here. The downwicks here are good, but throughout this whole week up until pretty much now, this thing has been, relatively speaking, choppy, like kind of down from Monday this week, from the end of Friday, week before. Then out of nowhere today, I mean, basically at the finish line going into the end of this week, just took off going into the late morning, early afternoon. So now when you look at this from the weekly chart, using this week's candle, to have this tail in with this closing very positive, yeah, not just put this on our watch list for this afternoon, but of course continue to keep this on our watch list for next week. So going into Monday early, I could see this retesting 20 if the stars continue to align here. So pretty strong move here right now in the EOS. All right, now let's just keep it going now. The warrant we're not going to trade. This is already within our price range, the EOSC. ORGO, this is kind of holding here. Shake down, it recovered, trying to go back up here for the time being. Good order book. Little resistance here at 583. Probably more resistance up top at 6. Actually, I'll add this here too. I had to take a sip of water there. ORGO, you got that. KODK, wow, it's also moving out pretty nicely. So Kodiak, we're pretty familiar with this stock. We've traded the stock on and off over the years, notably back from 2020 fame, pop drop. Is it beginning to rev back up again? Is this going to actually try and make some fine or short squeeze as well? I mean, just generally speaking, sloppy lines there. I just drew there for the moment, but it's basically back up towards that area. So yeah, I mean, intraday, it looks beautiful. Just long term, there's an even better chance for a move. So yeah, I'll add that too. Now this is where if we build up a pretty big watch list already, then there's not going to be as much of a need to kind of like sift through the fine tooth comb and kind of dig through everything. Frog, yeah, no, expensive. That's all. See, the SSP looked good earlier here. Let me show you this. I can get this up on my book map, and I'll drag this up here for you. If you think this is easy to read, then tell me your secrets. Tell me how, because this thing is a nightmare to me. This is like a piece of art. It'd take me like hours to even like try and commission something this beautiful. So when I say that, I mean it's actually just like colorful and whatnot. This thing's like kind of weird looking, very tough to read. So for the time being, this thing had already died off. But when it was already trending up here, I noticed that I ended up bailing out of my trade. I wish it did better than it really ended up doing. But right off 250, that was a good move. All right. So I think the rare earth stocks were popping up just before we started this meeting. ASPI on its own, moving up pretty nicely just throughout the day. I could come back to that, put that back on our watch list. Sears, a little slow, but that's having a pretty good move here. I know Anna was looking at DVLT, so it's pushing up even higher now, and it's tradable. It's got a good order book. Just this thing though, again, was kind of flavor of the day, flavor of the week back like a month ago. That's all. Crashed bad. I'm not expecting this to be a good swing trade or move back up over time. We already had our fun on this stock for the most part, but for today at least, it's having a good recovery day, and we'll see how far it takes us. You ever bite your tongue? Yeah, not too fun. Just happened a moment ago. ABAT, ABAT. This is actually having a good day today, too. I thought I called this out before earlier today, but I really don't think I did now, just thinking about it. Kind of going back here. Like I saw it on my scanner, but I didn't really call it out as much as I did the U trade or some of the others that we've been on top of throughout the day so far. But at the highs now, it's probably one of our better trades to focus on already. So I'm going to add it. You, Amy, another stock we've done pretty well on today altogether. EOS, already got that. A lot that is still percentage-wise up. So, man, I'm just trying to sift through this here. The up trade was looking all right. SES here. This is actually going up beautifully. I like this trend a lot. Long term, still can't really trust it all the way, but definitely beginning to make that build up from support, like trying to bounce here so far. Last few candles now trying to make higher lows. I'll add this SES, kind of an interesting look. Strong uptrend here for today. I know Rich was calling out one or two trades himself before the ONDS. So ONDS is up about like 10%. There we go. Like number 92 is up 10%. So guys, I mean, there's a lot to work with here heading into the afternoon. Well, that's probably why. I always forget to do that. I got to filter it out by volume. But either way, ONDS now number 41, filtered out all the bullshit from the list. So, at least ONDS, there's still a lot to work with here heading into the afternoon. So if I missed anything, you let me know. Peloton over 730. Just caught that in time. Add Peloton to our main list again. Little teaser throughout the morning here today. I took a loss on this earlier on today, but pushing back up and over my level now. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, also shame on you. Fool me three times, maybe shame on me. We'll see. We'll see what mood I'm in. Donut trying to go back up right now. This thing is a little all over the map right now, daily chart wise. So I'll come back to it next week if we need to. AMPX, very strong bounce back up today. This has been on a tear on the daily chart, so we're pretty familiar with this stock a bit here. Kind of like the EOS trade. EOS doing a lot better, at least today compared otherwise. But AMPX, strong daily chart, up over 5%, good order book. I don't mind adding it. Now, this is where we have how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 stocks all ready to work with here heading into the afternoon. Whole market's pushing on up and up. This is beautiful. So there's already so much to work with. We'll probably find like one, maybe two things the most on the loser side. But Michael, Kathleen, Stephen, Brad, all of us here in chat right now, let me know if anything else is looking good. Run took a huge hit. Oh, well, you know what then? Didn't get a text from my buddy Matt yet, but otherwise, I was looking for Run to try and eventually flip over 22-ish. And where we left off on the thought of this being a swing trade was it's got to break over that historical level, close over it, at least flip it into support. It went right on up to it, nailed it just a month ago, right back on down it went, and game over now. I guess they reported bad earnings or something. Just come back to it if we ever need to come back to it. But that was at least a good setup. I was chomping at the bit to try and see that come to fruition, but guess that's not happening now. Same with this. One of our members here recommended WRD as like a trade setup. I'm like, hey, if it could flip this area into support, I still have my line here. And it got right on up there on that day, nailed it, didn't break over it, didn't break above these highs here, if anything. Just, it was a great setup. Just didn't make that move that we were looking for it to make for even us to get in. Kind of had your gun cocked and loaded, aimed and ready to go. Just no fire. All right, so put it back in your holster. We'll unload, then put it back in your holster. All right, let's see what else we got here. Anything else looking all right here heading into the afternoon? XPEP took a huge hit. This also is another swing trade setup. I wrote this more just even as recent as yesterday. We were looking at this to try and eventually get over 20. I'll be honest, I forgot the level here at the time. I think it was like 24, 25, if I'm not mistaken. It was just one that we said that would take a little time on, see what happens over the coming day heading into next week. But otherwise, clearly something had to have happened today. Maybe earnings came out or something, down over 6 to nearly 7%. It's like trying to go back up a little bit now, but we'll pass. All right, so again, let me know if anything else is looking good here, folks, just across the board. That frog trade's a little expensive, Genevieve. So, unless if it's got really good orders out there, really good volume, really good spread, tight and good orders at a lot of these price levels, I don't think it does. I'm going to pass on it for the time being, at least. DKNG going up, it's up over 5%. Contrary to that, listen, again, I don't know what's going on with my matrix here. This is all sorts of whacked out. This shouldn't be orders at the same price. That's definitely a glitch, but otherwise tight spread. This has more volume on the book, at least. It's going on up later, don't get me wrong, but there's probably a lot that looks like that. So this is where I got to say, like, it's a good tradable stock. If anyone's in a trade and I don't put it on the main list, I'm always rooting you on. Just realize that. So not high today, but SMR making a nice recovery off the lows. Yeah, same with that. I mean, nuclear has been a very strong sector of late, of course. So maybe SMR can make a gap fill going into next week. For right now, we'll just see if there's anything that's closer to the highs that's up 5% or more, or something that's closer to the lows as a short that's down over 5% or more. We're probably going to find the former over the latter on that, though. Let's see, TXMD. Low volume on that. I could just tell looking at that graph, just very tiny little candles. That's not something you ever really want to trade. That's okay though. I mean, just kind of learning more about how we scan the market, Todd. But for right now, we'll pass on it. It's up 12%. Again, if you're already in it, I'm rooting everybody on. Peace and love. No war. But otherwise, you want something that's trading decent candles. This thing, very spotty chart, points of inactivity. CSIQ, on the other hand, moving back on up here. This stock we had on our watch list one of these days this week, didn't we? And it's breaking over Thursday, just over yesterday, right? So, comparative, right? This is a little bit more easy on the eyes. It's got a bit of a spread, though, Roberto. Good resistance at 28. That's a nice level. Good. Keep an eye on that. That's for sure. If it blasts that, you could be in much better shape for the afternoon yourself. Mike asking us if I still like the SOC. That was from earlier, right? Yeah, that got beat up so much earlier this week, right? This thing fell off a cliff. Not even this week. this year, this thing fell off a cliff this year. But tried to recover this morning. We called it out early on. If it wants to push back up, Mike, we'll gladly call it out. If it wants to prove itself to us from this point forward, I wouldn't mind calling it back out, but we'll kind of start off without it. MP, nice move. Yeah, really nice run. Maybe I do add MP just kind of on the back side of our watch list. Probably more of a category 4 to 5, just given the price, the volatility of it altogether. But really strong move today, and really strong, I guess, up until recent. But, relatively speaking, going throughout the summer's time, this was on fire. This is on a great run. So it filled a gap, or it's like, it filled most of the gap, a good chunk of the gap, but it's pushing back on up even more. So I don't mind adding MP, kind of more on the backside. I like the U more, I like the EOS, just as long as it's more tradable, like kind of prefer those, but great trend. I could probably slip Hood on our watch list too, if that's the case, but Hood's like only up 1% comparative, right? You want stocks that are up more percentage wise because more people are going to see them on their scanners. That's kind of the key. So, like what we preach inside our classes. So, right now, even Hood, I'll kind of pass on. Let me check out Benzinga before we wrap up. That BKYI is doing pretty decent, though, folks. That's inching on up. Let me ask, did anyone jump in on this trade throughout the afternoon? We've been calling this out pretty much right off that iceberg that first showed up. Obviously, it's been kind of a grind, kind of slow, but if anyone jumped in on that BKYI, let us know here in the chat now. At the low of the day, just trying to look at some losers or stocks that were like kind of trending downward a little bit earlier on today. Not really anything worth the while as far as like a low. Like Apple's at the low of the day now, but not down a lot percentage wise. That's all right. Like, see here, this ALXO, I'm getting a signal from Benzinga, but it's barely kind of inching up based on these candles here. It's not really as active as we want it to be. Maybe it could pop, but for right now, we'll pass. TNDM, this stock. Spreads contained for right now. Near the high of the day, up over 20% actually. So that kind of fits like what we're looking for, right? This thing also took a huge hit here too, breaking above resistance that we had back from like earlier in October. Maybe this could be the beginning of a short squeeze on this also. I wouldn't mind giving this a look. TNDM. Also, LMFA, if anyone chatted this out just before, I'm just kind of looking at it here now. LMFA, this thing's moving up a little bit better, on some better volume. Gap fill here potentially actually there also. All right, so we got a couple more that I am a fan of. I don't want to build up too big of a list. That's my only issue now at this point. You got the LMFA. What else did we have? Lose track of these stocks. The TNDM. LMFA, TNDM. All right, that's going to call it. We got a big ass watch list right now. And a lot of us are already in at least on a few of these trades, right? So, at least otherwise, the BKYI, we'll see if there's more room on that heading into the close. Perhaps if it could break over the highs, the BKYI, maybe there could be a much better squeeze ahead on the way up to 2. So it's kind of a tough feat for this to try and even break the high of the day today. So we'll keep it on our list for the time being. Let's make sure this could pop sooner than later, though. We got the U trade. U trade's been doing great for us on the swing, and that's like really taken off right now. So there's a lot to work with. Just start and stick with like a couple of these, and then from there we'll probably eliminate one or two once we jump back on the mic. Rich will be on the mic taking it into the close, and he'll probably eliminate one or two or three at least based on trend if they dump off, if they don't make that better move coming up soon. And then there, we'll look to rescan otherwise. Then we'll add others into the mix and go from there. But again, start and stick with what we got. It's going to keep you as organized as you can be. We just scan the whole market. So, I mean, even TNDM I put last on the watch list. That actually is a good pattern. There's a chance for that to break out and make a much better pop ahead. So, best of luck trading all together, folks. Genevieve, Bill, Pat, Mike, Todd, Anna, all of us here in chat. Have a great weekend. Otherwise, if I don't see you, and we'll be back at least, if not on the mic coming up, we'll be back on Monday morning, bright and early, Fausto and myself. All right, folks, take care.